I should be recording this. Okay. So I'm going to go back over this real quick. We originally were above on the daily. We started the weekly. We are below. Our candlestick is below. It closed below the previous week on the day, right? Or on the weekly. We go to the day, we were above. This candle has just fallen below. So now that's one of the, you got two signs, or you got three signs that it's a sell. We're in a daily downtrend. We're underneath this support level or resistance level on the daily and the weekly. And we're in a daily downtrend. And now we're in a daily or a 4-hour downtrend. Okay? So we're break and retest traders. We have broke and we have retested on the daily. Now I have to let it retest on the H4 before I can take the sell. Okay? So where's our H4 area of interest? We find it the same way we do the daily. So here's one right here. Notice how mine is green because I want to identify what's my 4-hour area of interest and my daily area of interest. So what Jarrell is looking for, we are looking for a retest, a rejection candle, and a fall. Let's see if we get it. Okay. Red, 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 red. Okay. So we finally had a pullback way down here. So price never retraced to the area that we were looking to get in at. So obviously we were overall right in the direction, but we didn't take no loss either. We have to follow our trade. It has to be the same, our same system every single time. Okay? We'll do it again. So price is already, price is,
that's the whole method.
Yep, that's the whole method right there. So price is already gone, right? So we're going to fast forward this. Now we're waiting for a pullback on the daily. Okay, we finally got a pullback. How do we know we got a pullback? Because we got a green candle. Where are we looking for price to pull back to? This area right here, correct?
Yeah.
Because we are break and retest traders. It broke. We're waiting on the retest. Okay. In order for it to have a retest, what is price probably going to do? It's probably going to have a shift of structure on the H4. And as you get real good at this, you'll be able to take these counter trend trades. But right now, we're only trading with the trend. Okay? So, with this candle, we officially touched price. We officially had a retracement because price touched our area of interest. But, as you can see, we are in an H4 uptrend. Barely uptrend. So we cannot sell this until we have a shift of structure on the H4, correct?
Yeah.
We're retesting. We're waiting on our shift of structure. Let's go to the daily. Make sure we're below still. We are. Okay. Oops. I got ahead of myself. Okay. We're below still. All right. We got our higher low, higher high. So we are waiting on price to drop below this area, and it does with this candlestick. Can you see that, JP, when I zoom in?
Yeah.
We've had a shift of structure on the H4. So now we have to find our area of interest on where price wants to retest. This is probably our area right here. We got a rejection. Every time price got to this area, it rejected. Once it got on top, it broke above, or it shot up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got to have a retest. In order to call it a retest, green candle right there. Okay? So we were in an uptrend. We had a shift of structure. We got a retest. Okay. Now, this is the time I go to my regular candlesticks. Once I confirm all this, I go to my regular candlesticks. I am now waiting on a rejection candlestick. What a rejection candlestick is, it's going to be an opposite color of what the retest candle is. So we're looking for a red candle in the direction we're going. There's our red candle. Okay? And you'll be able to have this. This is my strategy, JP. No exaggeration. From the top to the or from the beginning to the bottom. Okay?
Okay.
Our rejection candlestick, it's also an engulfing candlestick. What an engulfing candlestick is when price opens and closes more than the last candle. So it engulfs it. Okay, so that shows a significant sign that price wants to fall. We got one over here. This one candlestick engulfs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like price engulfs all this price. That's a real sign that price wants to go up. It did it over here. Price engulfed these last 3 candlesticks, which means price wants to go up, and that's what it did. Not always, but a lot of the times. Okay, so we got a rejection candlestick, which is the most important, because to me, I don't care what it looked like. We got a rejection candlestick. So the reason why I have this black box here is because this is the open of the candle. Obviously, this was the close. This is the open. This is the close of this candle. Okay. We want to sell this within 10 pips of the open of the candle. So the open is right here. So I create a box, coordinates, and the coordinates, like I told you before when we're counting our pips, 10 pips, 695, 595. That's how big I want that box to be. That tells me this is my buy zone or my sell zone on this one. 10 pips. This is my sell zone. Okay? So I can immediately sell right now. Okay? Execute sell. All right? Now.
Gotcha.
Hold on. Let me get a stop loss. Where I want my stop loss is I want my stop loss to be above. This is NDD. I want a 20 pip stop loss. So in order to have a 20 pip stop loss, I know I'm throwing a lot at you today, but we'll continue to go over this. Hold on, I went the wrong way. I want a 20 pip stop loss. So if price is if I got in at 622 and I want a 20 pip stop loss, which is way up here, you see how far away from it is a price? We're above the area of interest on the H4. Like that's a good area. If price comes back and hits this, we were probably wrong anyway. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I gotta have at least a 2-to-1, which means I gotta have a 40 pip take profit. So if we're at 622, I need to be at 222. Let me zoom out. So this trade makes sense also because we got a 2-to-1, we got our stop loss, and price is more than likely going to reject this or it's going to fall through it. So it makes sense. Some people get greedy and they're going to put their stop loss way down here. Well,
right.
There's no evidence that price is going to fall to there. The only evidence is based off past history. Price will fall around this area because it's done it once before. Okay? So, yep, we're going to forward and look at price fall. Take profit. We would have made money. Okay? Let me go to another one real quick. Let me find one that was super smooth because we want to find the obvious. I want you to have the obvious right now.
So was that a counter trend or?
No, we traded with the trend right here.
Oh.
Yeah, because the trend we were on the daily. The trend was a downtrend. We retested.
Okay.
Yep, we had a shift of structure on the H4. And these are all steps, man. I'm telling you. I'm literally breaking my whole strategy down. We had a shift of structure. Once we had the shift of structure, we got a retest to the area of interest on the H4. Rejection candlestick. Within 10 pips, sell.
Okay.
Let me find. Hold on. Let me find. one that's super smooth. I think here's one right here. And it did it on. Okay. So we are clearly in a downtrend. I don't know what just happened. What in the world? Okay. We are clearly in a downtrend. We are now, price has broke. Price is broke. We are waiting on a retest. Okay. So it's an official retest, green candle, right? So we're starting to have a pullback. Price has officially touched our area of interest. More than likely, yep. For a price to do that, it had to go to an uptrend. It shifted, retest, price broke. Okay. So this is our area, our lower low that price needs to break below. Let's see what happens. We created a new high. So now price needs to break below this. And you just got to be patient, man.
Okay.
Right? And notice how price is above, which means, hold on, before all this happened, before this candlestick happened, this was a no trade because price was above anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we had a shift of structure. We finally had a shift of structure. Here's our higher low, higher high. This price never broke above, but we finally broke below. Okay, now that we had a shift of structure on the H4, we are looking for our area of interest. Here's our area of interest because we are below. So now we're looking for price to retest. And it's probably more so here. And the reason why I know that is because originally I put it here. And this is why this is so important. It's not that that was wrong. It looks great, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Over here, it looks like we're under. So I took this trade. So I'm waiting on a pullback. All right, I got my pullback. So now that I got my pullback, I'm waiting on a rejection candle. Go to my regular candlesticks. I got my rejection candle. I immediately get in within 10 pips, as you can tell. Price immediately goes against me. And I'm like, what in the world did I do? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I go back to my regular Heikin Ashi Candlesticks, and I'm like, do I got this marked up properly? Oh, that's where price is truly. You see what I'm saying? Slightly off. Okay, so where's my next area? Right in here. I got one touch. I got one. Price broke below. 2, 3, now 4. Okay? So now I'm not scared of it. I'm looking to sell it again, JP. Like now I'm just selling it from this area of interest. So for me to sell this, what am I waiting on?
You're waiting on that rejection.
Yes, sir. I'm waiting on that rejection candlestick. Got it. And that's why this was up here. I'm within 10 pips of the area. I immediately got in. Price melted. And I could have rolled this all the way down to this other area. And really, I could have rolled it even longer, JP, because the only issue is there's really no past data that says price is going to not turn around on us. So you got to be careful with that. But all the other signs were there, so I didn't write it all the way down. I just got my, what did I get? Almost a 1 to 2.5. I got a 1 to 2. 1 to 2.15, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Price continue to melt, man. And it's literally that simple. But notice how my strategy is the same regardless. Okay. I make sure I'm underneath before I sell. And I got to make sure I'm underneath on the daily first. And then I find my H4 areas of interest. And I got to make sure I'm underneath on those. The reason why this trade didn't work originally is because truly I was above. I just had my area of interest marked up wrong. It really should have been down here like this.
Okay.
Yep. And you can see why I lost. Why did I lose? Well, you didn't have it marked up properly. All right, whatever. We'll get it at the next zone. It came to the next zone, and we sold again. And it played out. That is literally the whole strategy. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, so you do, since that was a sale, you would do the same thing with the buys too, right?
Yes. So it's literally the same thing. It's obviously just opposite. Let me see if I can go find one.
Yeah. As long as if they break the 4H in the daily and then it retests.
Yeah, let me go find a clean one.
Okay.
And really, I don't even have to go find one. I can literally just invert this scale, and it's literally the same strategy. It just looks a little backwards. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, let me go. Let me try to find one. A buy. I mean, essentially, here's one right here. Right? Let's see how clean it is. We're in an uptrend, so we're looking for buys. Let me go to the weekly. We closed above last week. The daily is in an uptrend. We're just waiting on, let's see what the structure looks like. We were just waiting on a shift of structure, which we got right here. Right? So we're buying from right there. If I didn't buy this, I don't think. No, I didn't buy this. I don't know how I missed out on this, actually. But daily finally closed above. We had a shift of structure. We got our break. We got our retest. Now all we're looking for is a rejection candlestick. There it is, the green one right there. Let me put this box here. I'll mark out 366. I like to change the color to black just so I know what it is. I'll take the extend to the right off, and then I'll move this up to the open of the candle. Literally could have got, it would have broke. You could have got in any of this area. The best time to get in is if you can get those wicks at the open. Man, that's fantastic. But you could have got in here anywhere. We would have taken this.
You said get the wicks at the open. What do you mean?
The open of the candle.
Oh, okay.
So the back of the open of the candle, you can put a buy limit and buy from this area, and get that's the best trade. And then I always come over here and play with it. Let me see, 30 pip stop loss. Yep, 30 pip stop loss. We could have easily got a 1 to 3, right? Almost probably if you really want to stretch it. We would have went to a 1 to 3. Best case scenario.
So with that, do you see that big red candle?
This one?
And no, over at the beginning. Hold on, go over. Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that little green candle. Is that like any signs or anything?
Well, with that, not really. This was my rejection candlestick, but in order to classify that as a rejection candlestick, I got to look at my Heikin Ashis to see if I get a pullback, right? Let me show you some that I didn't get a pullback. Hold on. I think it was some AUDs this week. So I didn't get a pullback. I was trying to trade with the trend. We came to our area of interest. What I was waiting on is the 4 hour to match the daily. What I was waiting on, we got a break, and we never got a retest to then buy before price got back to this area. So now it's a no
Okay.
trade. I'm not trading it because it's already touched the zone that we wanted to see price go to.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
But you see what I'm saying? We never got a break, and that's why
Yeah.
it's important we get those red candles and come back and touch this part right here.
Okay.
Yep, super important that we get this and then a break.
That makes sense now.
Yep. Yep. 30 pip stop loss. When you put it in on here, it's going to look like 300. These are 300 mini pips or micro pips, whatever they call them. And then 900 is actually 90 pips. 300 is actually 30. So you'll see that on the chart, which also it matches this. So what, 560 to, what is that, 460? 560. No, that's our entry. 560 to 460. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So there you are, big dog. You got any more questions?
Yes. Where did the? Oh, okay. That's the last three. The 560 and 460.
560. What do you mean?
On the very far end of the right, is that the numbers you're talking about?
Yeah. So it shows it over here. It shows it where my
Okay.
stop loss is. But you can double click it and go in here and put your entry where you entered at, where your TP is, your take profit, or your stop loss.
What's like if you're not trying to be greedy, you know, trying to be safe with it or whatever. What's a good area? Like I guess
How many pips do you want to risk?
yeah.
So really on this AUD, I probably would have risked 40 pips because it's not as tight. You want to give it breathing room, just enough breathing room from your entry. So whatever it looks for you, but I go no more than 50 pips. So on this, I would have went no more than 50 pips. Because note, if you go 50 pips, just to get a 2-to-1, I got to go 100. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's a great, like, the chances of price with our strategy, the chances of our stop loss getting hit are slim. But you also have to go hold your trade longer, right, in order to get the win just at a 2-to-1 when I could go 900 or 90 pips, do a 30 or 40 pip stop loss. So it's all based off the trade. So like, let's go to GBP USD real quick. GBP USD is different. So like if I was to go long from over here, notice here you can just see it in the, look at the, we got the pullback right here. It didn't touch this yet, so it was still a valid trade. But notice how small our 10 pips is compared to AUD JPY or NZD USD.
You said
Why?
the black is a 10.
Yeah, it's because this price over here, the price for GBP versus the New Zealand dollar, like this is worth essentially 56 cents, where GBP is essentially worth, like, I mean, the numbers are just completely different. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why it doesn't take much movement for you to gain a lot with GBP. Price moves a lot quicker with GBP USD.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. You got any more?
No, I think I'm getting it. I'm just gonna like every day look at this video, this recording.
Yep. I'm gonna send that over. I'm gonna send it via email.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep looking at it, keep watching it. But as long as it's like retesting and making sure get your lines or
your areas of interest, yep, or in the right spot. Make sure you're trading with the trend. We'll trade. You can start counter trend trading when you're successful at trading with the trend. But it's also going to mean you're not going to have as many trades. You may take one trade a week, JP. Who cares?
Yeah.
Wait on your setup. Because this is a business. You're not in the business of losing money, which it's going to happen. You're in the business of making money. And the more trades you take, the more chances of you have of losing. I'm telling you, I've done it for 10 years now, and I was so impatient thinking I'm going to get rich overnight, and that's not how it works. You have to fall in love with the process in order to get the money. And this is the process.
Tell me one more time, when do you start looking into the 4H again? Because I understand the daily. That's
the H4? Okay. So you're going to look at the H4 once you like over here, once we identified that we're in a downtrend, we're going to go look at the H4 once we get our retest.
Once the retest.
Yeah, you got to think break and retest. We had our break, right? Now we got our retest. Now we're retesting this area. We got our green candles that prove that it's a retest. Now let me go look at the H4. And as soon as we get a shift of structure, we'll sell. Well, we didn't get a shift of structure till way down here. You see that?
Yeah.
And so here's our lower high and here's our lower low, but price had already touched this area. But you can still sell it. It's in a downtrend. Where's our area? We got one area right here. And I probably would have lost on this first one. And we got another area right there, right? You see it?
Yep.
So we got a rejection. It rejected. I would have sold from here. And we would have got stopped out. And then price would have went up and I would have sold from here again. Just because everything lines up. We would have lost there. Say we'd have lost $100 here. And then we would have made $200 here. We're up $100 for the week. We took 2 trades.
Okay.
Yep. That's all you're waiting on. So we go to the H4. You go to the H4 if this helps. You go to the H4 once you identify what the daily's doing.
Okay.
Yep. If I understand and know what the daily's doing, the daily's retesting. If you can answer that question, okay. What is the H4 doing now? Now you're looking for the H4 higher low, lower high, whatever it may be, whether it's in an uptrend or downtrend. Then once you get all that you gather all that information, you make your biases off that. And you may have to write this down. Like each trade, like you may have to journal your trade. I'm trading GBP NZD and we're in a daily downtrend and you may have to write it down. Am I retesting yet? No. Then there's no trade. Am I retesting yet? Yes. Okay. Now I can go to the H4. Is the H4 in alignment with the daily? Yes, because it's in a downtrend just like the daily is. Okay, next step. Have we got our retest, or where's our area of interest on the H4? Mark those up. Has it touched our area of interest? Has it retraced to our area of interest yet? No. So it's a no trade. Come look at it later, or set an alarm that notifies you. You can set an alert. Just click, add an alert. You can say, area of interest, whatever the case may be, and it'll let you know when it gets to the area that you're looking at. Once it gets to this area, okay, it's at the area of interest. Do I have a rejection candlestick from this area? Yes. Is price within 10 pips of the open of the candle? The answer would be, in this situation, yes. Sell it. You know what I'm saying? And then before you actually sell, put your little measure tool up here. Let's say I was to get in right here. What does 30 pips look like on this pair? We could go 30 pips, right? I can aim for 1 to 3 again. Right? If that's too close for comfort. But note, if price gets all the way up here and stops you out, you got to think, where's our lower high at? Our lower high is right here. Our stop loss is above our lower high. So if price gets all the way up here, we were wrong anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the little things and little questions you got to ask yourself. And it literally melted. We like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then essentially, like as we speak, we had a break and we got a retest. Now price looks like it's going to close above. In my honest opinion, last week price closed inside the area. It didn't close below, so it closed inside. So I called that above. The daily is about today. It's going to close above, and then we are in a H4 uptrend. I'm personally going to take a high risk trade. This is a high risk trade because I'm buying against the trend. This you don't do. You get what I'm saying? I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
don't do this. But we are in an uptrend. Here's already got it marked. Here's our higher low. Obviously, this is our higher high. If this candle closes red, that's our pullback. Let me make Let me make sure the H4 is in our area of interest. Is that our area? I got one touch, two touch, three touch, and it's above. So what I need price to do is I need this to pull back
To the green.
to the green. Yes, sir. And then I need a rejection candlestick.
So wouldn't you wait until it touches the green and then go in for it?
Yes, exactly. We got to sit on our
Okay.
hands. That's what you call sitting on your
Yeah.
hands. Now, also, I
Okay.
have to wait until this day closes because we got 2 hours until the
Yeah.
market closes, but price could close all the way down here like this. So we're above.
Okay.
It's probably going to close above on the daily. But JP, just because I used to just like, all right, F it, I'm going to buy it and just buy it and not wait. No, I
Mm-hmm.
have to wait for it to get to this area. Then once that happens, I have to get a rejection candlestick. This
Mm-hmm.
candlestick don't count
Okay.
because this is part of the pullback.
So basically, you have to wait till it gets to the green
Yep.
with another green, and then you have to wait for it to go red
Well,
and go
this is
back
a
up.
buy. This would be a buy. So this,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
notice, yeah, price opened up down here. It's just going up. So we gotta
Okay.
wait,
So
and then we're gonna
yeah.
get a rejection candlestick, which should be green, and then we're gonna buy it within 10 pips of that open, uh, in order to take it long. Because here's another reason. Here's another. Once you identify where you're at, look at the weekly. This dinosaur means this is when data started collecting. Okay,
Mm.
we started collecting on this pair. We are at the near the lowest price has ever been. So the chances of this thing continuing to go up are great. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I'll probably take this trade. But like I said, I want you to only find the dailies, and then also make sure like when you find like your daily pullback, like a daily downtrend, just make sure you go to the weekly and make sure the previous week the candle closed in that area too.
Okay.
Yep. So before this move, like the week before, you notice how this candle closed below the area we're trying to get in at.
Mm.
That's another confirmation.
So you want me to look for pairs that both the are on the same trend with
Yep.
the 4 hour and the daily?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And so, and then you just, that's why it's important you go through and mark them, right? So it's important,
Yeah.
like USD CAD already took off. Now, whether or not it creates a new higher high and then it does this, or if it comes down and creates a new higher high and then creates a new lower low, then we're looking for that. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to go
Yeah.
through there and mark all your higher highs and higher lows because it could be choppy like this. You see how choppy this is?
Mm-hmm.
But it was in an uptrend. So when price pulled back, I wasn't able to get in this JP because price never pulled back until it already touched the area. So then
So
I did a counter trend trade, and you see how that played out for me.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So say if, and I don't know if this ever happened to you or not. Like, say if you was going with the trend,
Mm-hmm.
and both the daily and the 4H was the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're both the same trend, right?
Yep.
And then
Still get
all of a
stopped out.
sudden, a couple of days go by, and then the 4 hour is different from the daily.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had that happen, or what do you do
Yes,
in that
yes, I
scenario?
have had that happen, and a lot of times I had it happen over here. Hold on, it happened this week. I lost. Okay, so
Just leave it alone.
yep. So well, no, this was a counter trend trade. Never mind, it didn't happen to me this week. So, uh, what happens is if you're already in the trade, I just go ahead and let it do its thing.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because you'll have that sometimes where price will, let's say we're in a uptrend, so price will, let's say this is an uptrend, price will get down here, shift the structure, and then shift back like that, and then shift back. Hold on, I actually do know a pair that it did that on. It did it this week. Look right here. So when you look at the daily, we're in an uptrend, and on the
Mm-hmm.
H4, we had a shift of structure. And AJ, I don't know if you remember AJ Tucker. He's like, man, real, I'm right on this, ain't I? And I'm like, yeah, no, you right. Which he took the trade below the area, right? See how this is below.
Mm-hmm.
I it kind of had its little pullback. I was waiting for it to do this, but we never got a rejection candlestick. It just fell. So now,
Mm.
if that happens, you have to wait for price to shift back. It shifted back, but we never got our retracement. It went on ahead and went up.
Okay.
That was another
So
one I was looking at this week, but I never got a pullback.
so since he took that,
So
did
he
he
took he
win?
took a loss.
He took an L. Okay.
Yeah, he took an L because first of all
He didn't wait for the retracement.
he didn't wait for the retracement. He thought this was a retracement, but it's
Okay.
below the area. You can't buy below.
It has
So
to hit the other part.
it has to go up and then
Oh,
come back down.
okay. Okay.
That's our
Okay.
retest right there. But if
Okay.
we got our retest, but we never got a rejection candlestick. You see it? There's no rejection candlestick.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a no trade for me. I literally every single time, JP, it's time after time, it's the same thing. Nothing ever changes.
Yeah.
For me, it can't. Nothing can ever change for you. Once you implement this, nothing can ever change. I don't want you to go find another strategy and start mixing stuff. I'm telling you, if you do
Nah.
that, it's going to take you a long time to learn how to trade because you're trying to mix everybody's strategies and make your own. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like LeBron James has a coach. Like once I identified, okay, LeBron James got a coach, Real got to go to get a coach because he's been losing for too long. You know what I'm saying? Like that is just real. But I'm gonna stop this recording.